Okie dokie.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. We are back. Episode 2 of UTX Unplugged. Terrell is here way early. He was excited about it. Hugh is here. How you doing, Hugh?
Is Terrell here?
I bet he's not here yet. Tim Anderson is here. Doug is here. So, welcome. How do the mics sound? We did a quick mic check, but we're still new to this. So, Grandma Vic is here. Awesome. Okay. Episode 2.
Yep, episode 2.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let me see here. All right. So first of all, thank you to everybody who joined us for the first episode. We're super excited about episode 2.
Mhm.
If you weren't able to join us live for the first episode, if you go to our channel page, there's a podcast tab up at the top. We've got everything organized in a little podcast playlist thing. So that's the best way to find it. But
That's right.
evidently you found us tonight. So
There's Terrell.
there's Terrell. Robert Emmons is joining us.
Does it sound okay?
Yeah, somebody give me some feedback on the sound here.
That's the reasoning for the microphones. As weird as they seem.
Yeah, it's a little, I don't know. It's a little much, I guess.
Yeah.
But
He says okay.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
great.
you guys. Yes. That was my biggest complaint on our past lives was the quality of the sound. So we splurged and got some sweet microphones.
Yeah.
So
Then I don't have to yell.
yeah, we're both kind of mumblers. So when we do the regular videos, we both have to yell, and that gets a little tiring. So
Mhm.
my goodness, we got all kinds of people.
It's a bunch of new people too. That's cool.
Yeah. My
I see 'em.
goodness.
And I'm going to try to not watch because I get so focused on the people that come in on our videos and the live stream too. So I'm going to try not to watch. Okay.
Yeah, the live chat is addictive to look at. So what are we doing here? What have we been up to since episode 1? Little recap for everybody. Our last video, Overflow Overload. If you guys check that out, we upgraded the cooling system on your 74.
Yep.
Fun times.
Yeah. It was nice to work on my own vehicle for once. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was I don't know. That poor truck. It gets used and
Yeah. So, but that's what you got to do
yeah.
when you own an old 1974 truck that you drive all the time. You got to work on it. So
Yeah. Tired of dumping coolant in it. So
mhm.
And with that, we showed you guys the radiator mounts, the lower radiator mounts, and you guys have been buying those like crazy. We had several sets for sale right off, and they sold out like immediately.
Yeah.
And so then we were like in a panic. I was telling Jerry, like, teach me how to use the thing on the tubing bender so I could make them myself. So
yeah, we made or they sold out, and I never thought anybody would buy them.
yeah.
And they sold out on the first day, and then so she made 15 pairs of them yesterday.
Yeah.
So we've got a bunch more going out this Friday, but it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
That being said, we're going to add our accelerator pedal bracket
Yes.
that we make. We're going to add this thing to it. If you're doing a square body and you want to take a donor accelerator pedal and bolt it to the original 3 bolts in the firewall, and that this thing will do it. Okay. And we did the video on that, but I never thought somebody would want one of those either. We have sold them, but we've never really thought about that. So there you go. She's going to put that on there. Sorry about that. My phone's ringing. But what it does is the ones that we modified the pedal. It just makes it so you take that pedal and you just bolt it right to a square body, and it ends up being perfect. It feels awesome. Doesn't have a giant throw in it. And this one, in fact, was sent to us by somebody, and I did the what do you call it?
I guess modified it.
Yeah, we modified it for them, and if somebody wants to send us one, we'll do that too. But this just bolts right to that, okay, and then it just bolts in, so it saves somebody some trouble having to do that.
Yep.
But so having our radiator things out there, I honestly never thought somebody would want those, and to think that those radiator supports are going to go into somebody's LS swap is it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun making them and selling them. So
yeah,
if you guys are interested in the pedal brackets, be sure to let us know. That's definitely something we can throw up there. And
so
Brian says pedal feels great.
Yeah, Brian's got one of our pedals in it. And anybody that watches our videos knows that I'm insane about making something be perfect.
Yeah.
And that's what that pedal did, was it gives you the feel of what a 1985 pickup or whatever the square bodies. But like her 1970 pickup has got the pedal in it that's not adjustable. But it has 2 times as much travel in it. Okay. So it feels like you're stepping on a brake pedal, and it drives me nuts every time that I drive it. I've just never had the chance to or the time to actually go and fix that, but I'll put one of those in it, and it doesn't use this. And one of these days when I get a chance, I'll make one of these for a 70s model too,
Yeah,
so.
Ivan is asking about that here.
Okay.
Shout out to Ivan. I believe he just bought some radiator mounts as well.
Yeah, the 67 to 72s were weird because the 67s, the pedal just bolted straight down into the floor pan, and then it pushed against the lever for
a rod.
Yeah, a rod
for
the cable and that. So there's a split in there for 67 to 72, but I'll figure that one out one of these days, and I'll probably do it with hers because her 70's got it bolts through the firewall, and I'll make one of those for those trucks, and so that's coming. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that figured out.
Yeah.
Real quick here, Dan says, "Love your videos, butts and okays."
And butts and okays.
I always appreciate somebody who likes their butt jokes.
Is the guy who owns this pedal? Did he show up?
I looked. I haven't seen him. But shout out to Josh. He sent us his pedal for Joey to modify.
And that's another thing too. Like if you have one of these pedals and you want it modified, you can send it to us, and we'll do that for you and buy a bracket and whatever. That's what we did with this one, and it's been kind of fun for us to do that, knowing that we have like an ugly truck part sitting in your truck, because we're not a part supplier, but we do love that.
Yeah, it's a little piece of ugly truck.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Driving around with you.
Yep.
Yeah. So if that's something you guys are interested in, here's our email. Again, that's for a square body.
Yeah, square body.
You're set up to
73 to 87.
Yeah. Yep. For the pedal modification.
That's right.
So
good.
All righty. Well, adapter plates. What else?
Super.
You getting in on the butt jokes. What else we've been up to? This week has been crazy. This last couple weeks have been crazy, but this week has been nuts. You got a new eyeball.
Yes, I did. I have a new left eyeball.
Congratulations.
Yes. We try not to make a big deal out of our own personal problems on this channel. I have been suffering with cataract in my left eye for well over a year. It's been a year. I'll just give a real quick synopsis of this. Okay. I've been dealing with this. I haven't seen in my left eye anything other than a fog light, that kind of,
Yeah.
that kind of sense out of my left eye for over a year. And it made me miserable. I couldn't do the things that I normally want to do, the things that I should be doing. I should be out there working on cars like crazy, doing a ton of videos. And I hadn't been able to really do that. I faked it all. Anytime that in the last year I've been doing videos, I was just doing the best that I could to make it so I wasn't just the blind guy trying to wire up a car. Okay. And I was making mistakes on cars, and I was kind of in bad shape, which I'm not proud ever when I'm in bad shape.
Yeah, it's hard to enjoy anything when you can't see, or when you're struggling to squint.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that is like, I always, when it first started happening to me, I thought, well, this will go away. Just like everything else, when you're young, you're like, it's like, oh, okay, well, my elbow hurts, but it'll stop doing that. But my eye didn't do that. Every day it got worse and worse and worse. And so yesterday I had cataract surgery, and I can see today.
Yay.
Yes. So I have been celebrating all day. I had the patch taken off my eye this morning, and this is the best day that I've had in probably over a year. My daughter, I talked to her yesterday or the day before, and I said I was going in for surgery to have this fixed. And it was over a year ago that she said that I told her that I couldn't see out of my left eye anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So all the people that are like counting on me to, do the things that I should be doing, fixing their cars and that, it really, honestly, over the last year, I felt like I was falling short on them, and I apologize for that. And I'm going to make it up.
Yeah.
And
stuff takes so much longer. It's just,
man,
the whole thing. So.
Yeah. But so my apologies. I would have put out much better videos. I would have done so much better work on the people that rely on me for their LS swaps and that. And I just was having a tough time. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's over.
Yay.
So that's it.
Woo.
Now I have 20/20 vision in both my eyes. So
yeah.
I'm lucky that I live in a day where that's possible.
Absolutely.
That's all I can think. So that's it. I'll stop focusing on my great day.
Yeah. No, that's been a long time coming. I don't know.
He's saying I can see clearly now the cataract is gone.
I love it.
That's an awesome surgery too. Like if a person wants to just go watch videos of an eye surgery, that it's really, really cool.
Yeah. Don't leave this video, but there are videos of it on YouTube.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They are awesome.
So.
All right. So that's it about me. Let's move on to something more fun. Okay.
More fun. Let me see here. Got some cool stuff going on in Swap Talk this week. Barry Barnett is here with us tonight. He sounds like he's nearing the end of his swap and getting ready to start putting some miles on it, which is like the best feeling ever. Terrell is here. He did so much stuff. Terrell, you need to slow down because you're making some of us look bad here. Dakota Digital Dash, carpet, bumper, suspension stuff. And I would love to point out that a lot of you guys jumped in. He did a bunch of work on his control arms and made them look really nice. And a bunch of you guys jumped in and commented, and you guys were throwing advice and questions back and forth. And that's very cool because that is why we started that group. So if you have not joined us on Facebook, UTX Swap Talk is the name of our group. Please answer the questions when you join so I know you're a real person. But
what?
Speaking of comments, this episode is called Comment Commentary, which is actually the theme of this whole show, this whole podcast, I guess, or whatever we're going to call it. We wanted a platform where we could give you guys some better answers, a little bit more detail, and sit down and have a conversation about a lot of these topics and a lot of these questions that we get from you guys. So comment commentary will be pretty much the overall theme. We'll try to bring comments into everything. We may show up with topics of our own, but we want to hear from you guys, and we want your, like we said, your feedback and your questions. So keep them coming.
Yeah, exactly. As long as they're nice comments.
Yes. Nice comments only. No meanies.
No meanies. That's right.
What you said in one of the videos. So here we go. Our first comment question comes from Scott Powell, who is a member. Thank you, Scott, for being a member. He says, any new LT and 10-speed transmission swaps in the near future? I have a 6.2 LT and 10-speed sitting on my garage floor waiting for a donor. What are your thoughts on LT motors?
Well, that question, that is the donor. The LT and the 10-speed, right?
Oh, I guess so.
That's the donor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now we got to find a truck for that guy to put that thing into.
Oh, exactly.
But if it's an LT and then a 10-speed, then I'm not sure about the dimensions on a 10-speed. Or whether or not they fit in like anything below the 3 or the 1 tons and that. I'd have to look at that because we've never had to mess with a 10-speed. 8 speeds, I work on 8 speeds a lot. Nobody likes them. The 8 speeds riddled with quite a few problems. Mm-hmm. Most people that have them, they'll tell you that they shift hard and they've got some freaky things that they do. So an 8-speed and I would think that the 10-speed's the same. Just like this week we worked on somebody's Yukon this week, and I'm sure that has a 10-speed in it. And I drove it and I thought it felt funky. So I don't know. And then the LT motor has its own issues where when you talk about an engine that's direct injected, I probably wouldn't have somebody like if somebody asked us to do an LT engine, I would say no unless they were like really mechanically inclined, because a direct injected motor is going to need the upper engine cleaned out because the injectors are shooting directly into the cylinders and they build up carbon on the intake valves like crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge problem for them. And so I probably would steer somebody away from the LT motor if they weren't willing to like do some engine cleaning on it once a year or so, just so you know.
They're a little higher maintenance.
Yeah.
Good old LS platform.
Yep, definitely higher maintenance. And I don't know anything at all about what you can do tune-wise to them because of the direct injection. I do know because we talked about this in the past that we bought a HP tuners,
Mhm.
and we've been messing around with that. And the newer stuff, if you wanted to mess around with those motors at all, you pretty much have to put a different ECM in it, and then you can change the tune in them.
Yeah.
So it gets a little bit more difficult the more you get into that the Gen 5 stuff.
Yeah, the newer you
Yeah,
go.
LTs.
And that's
So-
kind of what gives the LS platform some, you know, a good spot, is that they've been around for 20 some years now. So, you know, there's tons of parts available, aftermarket stuff, you know, just
Yeah.
that in general is worth a lot. Plus, they've worked all the bugs out.
Uh-huh.
You know, like you said, direct injection in general kind of is a maintenance item, but I mean, you know, just the fact that it's that new, you know, give them a minute to figure it out, and maybe they'll come up with a better kind of plug and play something.
Yeah,
you
over
know,
time, I think they will.
over time. Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
When it's forced upon the public, but D. Lund said that broken down direct injection engines. Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch
Yeah.
of tools that I built basically just to go in and take the intake off, rock the engine around just to clean the carbon off the intake valves, vacuum it out. There's a whole there's a whole world out there that'll tell you, oh, it's what do they blast them with? Like a media blaster type thing.
Yeah.
But I go in and I physically take the intake off, clean the intake valves off with a borescope and the tools that I've made, and scratch them out and vacuum them out. And it's like it's such a giant pain just because of direct injection. And they do. I mean, because they're direct injection, they put out a ton of horsepower. So that would be why people would want to mess with that. But I don't know. I think the LT engine kind of falls short.
Yeah, I think they got a ways to go.
Yeah, and I think the 8-speed and the 10-speed transmission really kind of they're stinkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody likes to give the 4L60 a hard time. But and I think early on they did have some pretty good issues, but I think, you know, over time everything gets better. And how many 4L60s are out there on the road right this second?
Yeah. Oh yeah, walnuts. That's
Yeah.
it. A walnut thing.
Yeah.
I would never. I'm not gonna go buy a bag of crushed up walnuts.
Oh, we got
to
a
clean the
tree
engine
right
out.
out here. We could just
Oh yeah, we have walnut trees.
go out and
That's
pick
right.
up some walnuts. Just throw walnuts at it.
Exactly. So I think people should just stick with 4L6 or 4L60s, 4L80s, and the 6L90s are awesome transmissions. Anything in those ranges are great.
Yeah.
If you can fit a 6L90 in them. But that guy he's got one sitting in his shed or whatever. He wants that thing put in something. So
yeah,
as long as you know what you're going into.
And it is like, you think like, oh, newer is better, you know, but look at the difference in, you know, we've shown you guys the difference in the wiring between a Gen 3 and a Gen 4, you know, and so a Gen 5 is all of that plus the engine, the fuel system, all of that stuff is a totally different animal. So
right.
I don't know. Yeah. I'd like to see where it goes in time.
So, oh, it's troublesome.
We love the LS.
I don't like direct injection. I do like the direct and port and the 5HO. 5.0. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'll go with you there.
Okay. Next comment.
Oh no. Another comment.
Uh-oh. Buckle up. Tim, Throttle Watch, is our buddy. He's been around for quite a while now. I don't know if I've seen him in here tonight, but he commented on I think it was the most recent video. I think it was Overflow Overload about the radiator, about Chevy parts interchanging so well. He says that'll never happen with a Ford, having things line up or interchange. So that's a conversation that Jerry and I have had, just us, because we've said it before. We show you guys a lot of Chevys, but we love everything. I think a Ford truck is cool in its own way. They all have their little bugs or whatever, but that is Ford's biggest downfall, is their, like, every piece and every part is different on every one of them.
Uh-huh.
You can't go buy a piece for a 72 and put it on a 70, so that's a bummer.
Right. Do you want me to chime in on this?
I would love that, please.
Really? Really? Why? Let's talk about, if somebody wants to add their comment, that'd be great. But why did Ford, go from the 302 cubic inch V8 that they had, which was like a top engine? I mean, that thing could outperform it, really, if a person really put their mind to it, would blow a 350 Chevy away probably. So all of a sudden they decided, in 2000, early 2000s,
2001.
So they go, oh well, we'll just make a Triton motor, and they turned that into a nightmare. People just hated that. Oh, the 300.
Yeah, the 300.
Oh, Jeff said the 390. A 390? What are you talking about, Jeff? The next time that I see you,
we'll put a 390 in Jeff's Blazer.
Oh boy, 390. But they just I don't know why they went that direction, and then got rid of the 302, because the 302 was so great, and if they had built off of that and just
taken a similar route to General Motors and take a platform and run with it.
Right. Yeah. And if anybody knows anything about like Triton motors or whatever, why do they go 150,000 miles and then all of a sudden they start burning out all their ignition coils? And I don't know. That was one that always drove me crazy. Yeah, Rick says so they can make more money.
All about the money.
All about the money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that, really. I really think that they were trying to do their best to put out great spark plugs, or spitting spark plugs.
Spark plugs out.
Yeah, spitting spark plugs out.
Those are fun.
I was in O'Reilly's the other day. Shout out to O'Reilly's, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
So I was at the counter, and there was a guy in there that was like fixing his truck out in the parking lot, and they were helping him out, and it had shot a spark plug out of it. And so the guy was ecstatic. He was like, oh yeah, I threw the spark plug in it, and I put a new coil in it. So that'd be $150 for a coil and a spark plug that they probably just went in and bought and threw it in there. And he was like, oh yeah, so I fired it up and everything's great now. And then so the guys behind the counter at the store, they're like, oh, that's pretty cool, right? I'm like, oh yeah, but the only problem is he'll I don't know how far he'll make it, but it'll spit that thing back out again.
He'll be back.
And yeah, I said, I don't know how many of those I fixed them that I had to throw a different, thread down into the spark plug and a different, a fixed spark plug for them. And just because they put out that engine with a terrible spark plug thread, and the spark plug was horrible too, but whatever. I just didn't know why they did that, because they had the greatest engine. A Ford 302, like the 5.0 Mustangs back in the day, the ones that I talked about, they're the ones that I'm talking about. I mean, there wasn't a better sounding motor.
Mm-hmm.
They had such a huge platform to like just go crazy and turn something into something that would be nuts. And
Mm-hmm.
and sure, like the Coyote motor, it's everybody goes, oh, a Coyote motor, but that's you know, it's a derivative of the uh, Triton motors. And but man, what could they have built if they really put their mind to it with the 302? Because the 302 was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first thing that I said when we fired up Frankenstein. If you guys have gone back and watched the videos on our pickup Frankenstein, it's a 68 C10 with a Ford 302 in it. And for the record, we found it that way before anybody gets mad. But that was the first thing I said. Was there's walnuts coming out of the exhaust, and the second thing I said was, wow, it sounds really good. But the 302s do sound pretty sweet.
Yeah, the 3-valve 5.4 was hot garbage. I see that one. Yeah. Oh man. And then go back to that comment or whatever. There really weren't any Ford. They put out so many. You could go on like a Ford pickup, and you could bump up a year in it, and the radiator would be like a different outlet size. And I had that happen to me numerous times where I was, you know, or just a production model where it's like, oh, this radiator fits in this truck and that, and it's
Yeah,
like, man,
have to look at like the date code on stuff, and it's like if it was built before April, it's this, and
well,
even in the later years,
even then, you'd look them up sometimes, and it would be like, well, it's either or, you know, I don't know. And I just recently put an engine in a Dodge pickup, which I know people don't be haters. But
everybody loves a Hemi.
Yeah, that was another thing that I did in my eyesight. All the mistakes that I made. I'll say it real quick. I bought all the parts for this truck. It was a 2012 Dodge Ram. I sat down one day and I bought all the parts for it, and I bought all the parts for a 2004 because I could not see it well enough that I made that mistake, and I didn't realize it until I was putting it together.
Yeah.
So that's how
weird.
That's how bad my eyesight was. But no, the 5.7, it was a 5.7 Hemi that I put in it. And a 5.7 Hemi, if anybody's ever worked on a Dodge Hemi, nowadays it's the same. It's really the same as an LS engine. It's very similar. The oil pump's the same. Where the camshaft's position's the same. The way they do variable valve timing and stuff like that's different. But other than that, the engine block's the same. And Dodge was really cool about kind of keeping with the same kind of stuff also. Even though, but then their problem was that everything was so expensive for them. So that's where Chevy kind of destroyed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they capitalized on where everybody else fell short. So.
Right.
I think it's worked to their advantage. I think they're doing okay.
Yeah. Dodge or Chevy?
Chevy. I think Mr. Chevrolet's doing okay these days.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they are or not.
He's on a yacht in the Bahamas, I'm sure. Oh, but yeah, we love Fords. I think there would be more Fords on the road today. You know, there'd be more 60s, 70s Fords booking down the road if. You know.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a matter of you could go buy a Ford Mustang, and then if you had the money to send it off to, I think it was Las Vegas or somewhere out there, Vegas, and have a Shelby kit put in it to make it, you know, super hot.
Yeah.
But Dodge is, I wish like some of the emission stuff would lighten up a little bit, and then Dodge. I'd love to see Dodge and Chevy have the gloves pulled off. You know.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool. We'll see.
Whiskey Tango says Honda is the Japanese GM. You can take an entire drivetrain from a 91 and plop it into an 02, and maybe you have to swap out some connector housings. It's awesome. They're also cheap. Not long after we started the shop here, we replaced I think it was a Honda Accord, like late 90s. And I remember I drove to a scrapyard here, and we got an engine with like 110,000 on it, pretty low miles, for $200.
Mm-hmm.
And it ran great. It may still be on the road.
A 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of
Wonderful.
their biggest sellers, a 3.5 Honda Acura motor. And, a great motor.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we looked at a salvage yard and it was $200 for a low mileage motor, I was like, man, that tells you how many of them are out there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're gonna show up and you're gonna hog tie us and put us on a pallet somewhere. Let me see here. So Fords, I think you guys have had enough of the Fords. We've tried to do Ford stuff in the past, and you guys are not Ford fans, but we love them. Let me see here. Mike. Mike has been around for a while. Mike says, hello there. I love your videos. I have been searching all over for trouble with square body GM trucks powered door lock relay. By chance, could you do a video on updating this relay to a different type? If we can find this relay, it's super expensive. Any help is appreciated by us square body owners. Thanks. Keep up the good work. This is an issue. So power door lock relays in the square bodies. We have never run into this, but when Mike sent this comment through, we did some Googling and figured out that is a big issue, that they are hard to come by.
Right.
There's not really like an aftermarket.
Right. Well, I've never been able to afford a square body that had a power door locks.
Yeah, really. Yeah. It's all crank windows and.
What's his name? Mike?
Mike, yeah.
Mike. Mike's a fancy man who has power door locks in a square body. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Have we ever even seen that?
I don't know. Does Rawls? I think Rawls might.
Oh yeah, it probably does.
I think so.
Rawls. I bet you Brian's does too. He's in here.
Brian's does not.
No.
And I have said that before. I think, here, Doug says crank windows rule. Brian's 86, I believe it is. The red one that we got a ton of videos on here. That truck it's a Silverado, but it has crank windows. Uh-huh. And I think that is like the perfect combo. And they're super nice. Yeah. Crank windows don't break.
No.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we'll do a video on that. Believe me, the minute that video or the minute that comment came through, I was looking at it. It was 4 or 5 days ago. Yeah.
You came in back into the office with like an armload of wiring diagrams and
in order to make a power door window go up, you have to change the polarity in the circuit. So you got to make the circuit pass one direction through it, and then you got to make it pass the other direction through it. So that they did that in those years with a relay, a double pole relay. But we'll do that, and where people wouldn't have to buy that thing or buy an expensive aftermarket, or it's not aftermarket, I guess, a relay for it that they really, I guess, they're not having trouble. They're having trouble finding it.
Yeah.
So it's the same way that power windows work, but on a square body. The way it does it through a square body is it does it through the switch. So we've got our friend Jeff in Mississippi. That's the truck that we're working on right now. It's going to get a bunch of wiring that I haven't done in the past, and we'll do that on that one. But on his pickup, I'm going to use all the wiring or the circuit, the interior fuse box from it, that's what runs the donor vehicles, power windows, power door locks. We're going to do that on his, but we'll do another video that would show somebody how to just make their own relay
Yeah. 'Cause it
setup.
sounds like an issue that, I mean,
Yeah.
relays eventually go bad. So
Yeah, if you can just go buy some off the shelf and not have to worry about getting this certain part or whatever, that'd be the way to go. So that we'll do that one, but that's what I'm excited so excited about, having my eyesight back, that I got some crazy wiring stuff coming up on that one.
Yeah.
Engine stuff too. I didn't, not going back to my eyesight or whatever, but I wasn't all that comfortable doing stuff with engines and that also. So now I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah. Engines are, it's, you got to be 100%. And
Yeah.
I mean, a real attention to detail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and even if I look at something, I measure something or whatever, it's still a problem when it takes me three times longer to do it. So
yeah,
it's going to be so much nicer.
Takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's right. Hit the like button. That'd be nice.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Give it a shot.
What's our next question? We got anything?
That was the end of my
the end of your list?
My comments that I had here. Yeah.
How long have we been going?
41 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I did want to say we did have several comments this week about 700R4 transmissions. And that's something that we've mentioned here and there and we've talked about, but we get a lot of those comments trying to use a 700R4 with a swap and all the problems that creates, especially when you get into like drive-by-wire pedals and stuff and trying to make the TV cable work and blah, blah, blah. So rather than just answering one comment here, I think next week we'll start off, or next week, good grief. I wish it was next week. I don't know if we could pull that off, but on the next episode, we'll get into some 700R4 stuff, and get started on that. And then we'll go into some comments afterwards. But, if you guys have, questions related to 700R4s and swaps and stuff, be sure to let us know in the comments, and we'll
or just if you have a 700R4 and a swap and it works perfectly fine, I would like to know about it.
Yeah,
I have yet to have somebody say that to us. I'd be curious about it. What they consider perfectly fine, I don't know. The TV cable. Yeah. It's the TV cable on it's just a giant problem. So we built a pedal for somebody once and tried to make the TV cable work in it, but then it seemed like it didn't have enough adjustment in it to pull it just right to make it work perfectly. So that's where. And also, I've never done a drive-by cable truck, but like if you had a drive-by cable, then you would have to make the TV cable still pull the same amount. And I'd be curious to know if somebody has done that and made it work, but I haven't yet to see that work. So that's what I think. And people ask us fairly often to like do a swap, and they're like, "Oh, you can." I've got a 700R4 that's like real fresh, and
it's always I just had it rebuilt or I had it built up, and I get that you've made the investment, but yeah. I mean, it creates as many problems as I mean, it's
Huh.
solved, you know.
Yeah.
But
Bobby Sanders just says you can do without it. You would have to set that up in the valve body.
that would
I
be,
don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I'd like to know. Maybe.
Yeah, because dealing with that cable is just trying to get that synced up and old and new. And I mean, we're like trying to make
Right.
2 different decades line up here, and it's not working. So
Yeah, cables don't work. Everybody knows that. It's like there's a reason why we've gotten rid of cables on things. 305 with a what's that say?
Ben has a 305 and a 700R4 for sale.
Oh, I do too. It's out of the no, that's a 350. But does the no, I'm wrong. I was talking about the Blazer. The Blazer has a 400 in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
400.
Yeah. So don't bash the 400. 400 is awesome.
Yeah.
Watch pressing transmissions. See, I got to quit watching the.
I know the live chat's addictive.
Yeah, we'll be here forever.
But yeah, you guys have got questions on the 700R4s and stuff. I've seen some.
Oh, make a manual shift. Yeah. That would work.
That's interesting.
I always wanted to take a 4L60 and just make it a manual shift and put it behind some of our trucks that we have that aren't, LS swapped and that. And I always thought that'd be kind of cool. That's the kind of stuff that I think about all the time.
It'd be interesting,
yeah. Put a paddle shifter on the 74.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
no. Bad tree is in the house. The heathens are here. How are you guys doing? We haven't seen you guys for a while. Oh. We were talking about Mopars earlier. You should have been here earlier.
We were talking about Bad Tree a week or so ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We can't mention what it was, but it was pretty good. Something that he did.
Favorite memories?
He's half in it.
Half in it.
Yeah, we're nearing the end.
Yeah, I know.
But
yeah, it was still kind of light out when we started this. It was kind of weird. The time changed between the last episode and this one, so
yeah.
It's like,
yep.
It's daylight.
What do we got? We were going to go for an hour.
Yeah, shooting for an hour. But
I'm trying out the AC. Figuring out the AC in Grandpa. I know it's easy.
Yeah, he said something up here about it too. That he was still having some still need clarity with air conditioning. Let's get a post started in Swap Talk and see what we can get going on over there. You have to remind us again what your donor and stuff is. I should have it all memorized, but
yeah,
do good to remember what's in my own vehicles.
Right. Keep the intros coming.
Thank you. C10 Problem Child.
We will. And we're gonna bring more videos now.
Yeah.
Believe me.
With Jerry's eyeball transplant being so successful.
Yeah, my newfound eyesight.
Yeah, to get a comment on the intros, we talked about that the other night. It's the intros are silly little goofy stuff. Like that's the biggest part of like putting ourselves out there. It's if you know what you're talking about, you can stand in front of a camera and talk about it. But when you're doing just whatever you would describe our intros sometimes.
Yeah.
It's yeah, when we get a comment that you guys enjoy them, it makes us feel better. It makes us feel a little less silly. Terrell says he likes them.
Yeah, it's great because we spend a day doing it sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
She shows up she comes up with the ideas for the intros, and then I'm like, all right, we'll do it. I don't care how
One
dumb
day
I look and whatever she wants me to do. She goes, what do you think of that? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Okay, whatever.
I'm drawing a mustache on you. I'm doing fake tattoos. I'm doing sunglasses.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
So then we do the intros, and then we're like going, oh, now we gotta do the video.
Yeah, we'll just do intros from here out.
Yeah. So we do the video. Doing a video sucks. Just so people know.
Sometimes. Right? Yeah.
Doing it's labor intensive. There's no music, nothing.
The music drives Jerry crazy.
Yeah, I'm just standing there yelling at a camera pointed at me, and then I have a short redhead behind the camera making comments back at me.
Yep, all the time.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to do, but but back to the intros, man, we have so much fun doing that. Yeah. We'll sit there and we'll talk about it like days ahead of time, like what we're gonna do. So that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, when somebody acknowledges that they enjoy them, we appreciate it.
Yeah, someday we'll have an outtake video. Mm-hmm. All of the outtakes from the silly intros.
Yeah,
some of them are pretty good.
Terrell said that his is a 2002 Yukon, and Yukons are weird. Yes. Yukons in the beginning, they I don't know if his did. I would have to see exactly what it was, but GMC Yukons started creeping into the 2003 era when it comes to air conditioning and that. So it depends on what it actually come out of. But if it is an actual 2002, that's a lot easier to do air conditioning on. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then somebody else sent us a comment also, and I haven't had the chance to figure it out. But I on every swap that we've done, most of them are Gen 3, 2003 on up into before they hit Gen 4. I do the air conditioning module that sends a data signal to the ECM. And somebody sent me a message saying you could take one of the other ones that wasn't the auto air ones and just set it on defrost. And defrost should turn your air conditioning on also. And I haven't had a chance to double check it, but I may have a bunch of non-auto air ones sitting around here that'll send the same data signal. So I got to figure that out and make sure that works, because I would love to use one of those.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, versus the auto air ones, because the auto air ones have all the lights light up on them, and but so it gives it like an underglow under the dash, but we don't really need it if I could make the defrost work on the other one. So I'm gonna figure that out. Dan says that he believes that's true.
Yeah,
it should. There's no reason why it being in defrost shouldn't turn it on. So
that must have been Tim. He says that was me. It works. So he must have tried it.
Oh, that was Tim
Sweet.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tim.
Yeah, thanks for following up on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check that and send me a message and tell me what exactly your like the unit came out of, just so I know. I'd love to hear about it before I actually go and try it. So and then people talk about the van setup too.
Yeah.
Most of the trucks that we do come out of a truck that had electric cooling fans. Now, vans didn't have electric cooling fans, so there are some ECMs that have the ability to just have the air conditioning turned on by 12 volts. So if a person didn't want to deal with that, they could just find one of those particular units. And there's like 5 or 6 like service numbers on the ECMs
Several, yeah.
that'll do it. They were vans and
Box truck, kind of.
yeah, so those worked in a different fashion, but we've never talked about that on the channel because we don't. I didn't really want somebody to go and plug into it and not know for certain that it's going to do that because of what service number it is on the thing. So it wouldn't. The vans were probably kind of rare, so I just I'd never brought that up. But the defrost thing is really interesting to me.
Yeah, it says 04 Sierra manual control compressor cycles the same as when in AC mode.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but it does kick on.
Yeah. Brian said his AC works better.
Yeah.
It should.
Yeah.
Yeah. They work better because it's got the thin tube condenser in it. So and it takes half as much refrigerant and works twice as good. Same evaporator and everything, but just a better condenser. So what we got now?
Battery's got some cool stuff going on. Figuring out how to swap stuff is fun. We're doing a 79 Plymouth Aero 360 Magnum swap at the moment. Sweet.
Jeez. He's crazy.
We still, every time we talk to him, I want to get the dart out. We fired up the dart the other day. We had some stuff in the back of the building, so we had the dart sitting out for a couple weeks.
Well,
a week or so.
Yeah, it's not just that. We have a 73 Dodge Dart that's got a slant 6 in it.
You betcha.
And we went through 2 weeks of sub-zero temperatures. Right? Is that what you were leading up to?
Yes.
Okay. So it was sitting outside, which we normally don't leave it sitting outside, but it was in this case. And so then the minute it hit, 50 degrees, we walked out there and I was just like, do you think the dart will start?
I was like, ha, we'll try it.
I jumped in it and it cranked over and,
fired up and purred.
Yeah. It cranks like a Dodge Dart.
It sounds like it's not gonna start.
But it fired right up and that thing's awesome.
Hillside Hemi.
Yeah. You gotta be a Dart or you gotta be a Dodge lover. I don't know. There's just
it's hard not to.
No way.
Hard not to.
That's what we were talking about. What's the batteries, guys? What's his name? Blake. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Blake. We were reminiscing about a video where you darted out on somebody who wasn't a Dodge lover. And, you left them standing there holding the mic. And it was awesome. We watch it once in a while and just have fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. He probably doesn't even remember it.
I don't know.
We do.
Yeah, there's that one. There's a couple other ones.
Yeah.
A couple other bad tree memories.
72.
Yeah, 72 Dart with a slant 6. Yeah, our Dart, I think we got shocks for it. We still need to put on it and address the brakes probably, but
yeah.
Other than that,
yeah, it's a nice car.
Ready to hit the road.
86 C20 chassis.
Blake says he doesn't remember. Coors will do that.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but I didn't want.
Could have been a factor.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Oh wow, yeah. Tim Anderson is installing the LS in a 48 Chevy truck on an 86 C20 chassis. How does that work? Because a 48 would be a lot narrower.
Yeah, you would think so. That'd be.
Tim's doing serious stuff.
Yeah. Of course. Meant best. What's he talking about?
C10 problem child.
Best AC setup for a C10. Oh, no AC components at all. Yeah.
Let me see here. Yeah. So are you saying like it's a non-AC truck, or you just don't have the pieces anymore? Because
yeah, it depends where you live.
Yeah.
He probably he lives up north. Maybe you don't have to worry about it. Down here, now it's getting rough.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been
we go through swings of 5 below to 105. I guess today it's 85 degrees here. It's pretty weird.
This has been crazy.
All right. Well, we did what we could today, I think.
Yeah.
I got to start my celebrating.
We got to go back to celebrating Eyeball Day.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's episode 2 of UTX Unplugged. Hold on, hang on. What's Badtree saying? You're going to be on in a bit. I'll share it. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Send me an email. I don't know what's going on.
Coors.
Yeah, really. I thought about that. I was worried that somebody would think that I was drinking Coors over here. It's a liquid death. It's grapefruit. It's not Coors.
Nah, he was talking to
Badtree, yeah.
Yeah, I always wondered that too when we watch yours, because like Coors is out east, or no, west. I'm sorry, that's where. But they're up east or north.
Yeah.
And that's strange when you see somebody out north drinking Coors beer. They're not that close to the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Like people are out in the west. But
yeah, I don't know. Coors is a different one.
Yeah, it gives them a good edge, though. I always enjoy it. Rick's bowing out on us. Rick.
Thanks for hanging out, Rick.
Yeah.
We talked about Fords for you.
Yeah.
Rick's a Ford guy.
Well, all right. Well, we'll bring you some more videos here now that I'm back to 99%. So.
Yes.
And thank you. And then come up with some more questions for us. Leave them in the comments, and she'll read them and relay them on to me, maybe.
Well, you can read them yourself now with your eye.
Oh, that's true. I could.
I know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. So yes, leave us a comment if you guys have questions that you would like us to address in the next episode. We talked about 700R4s a little bit tonight, but we may mention that again in the next one. But like we said, commentary. That is the theme that we're going with here. So that can't happen without you guys, and we appreciate all of your awesome comments and your feedback as we figure out how to do a podcast here. Oh,
that's another thing too that I want to talk about, a podcast. Okay.
Yes.
You mind if I talk for a second?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, a podcast. A lot of our subscribers don't watch our videos. Not because they're smart. It's because they are like truck drivers, and they have jobs where they can't watch a video or whatever, but they can. They put an earbud in or something, and or drive down the road and listen to it. So a lot of them are truck drivers and things like that. So that's why we kind of wanted to do a podcast, and that's why we try to like talk through the whole thing. The reasoning for the mics and that, so people can hear okay, and then because I mean that's all. If I was doing a job that wasn't like working on LS swaps or whatever, that's all I'd want to do is just sit there and at least listen, learn about it, and that's why we thought we would do a podcast. And like she said, it's on a podcast section only on our channel. So
Yeah. So if you go to our channel page, up at the top, videos, lives, blah, 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 there's one now that says podcasts. So if you are looking for the first episode or you would like to go back and watch this episode again, that is where you find it.
that's right.
And it's right next to one that says store. And that will take you to our merch store and you can buy all kinds of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few more of our radiator mounts left, but they are selling quickly. So we need another stick of tubing. And
Yeah, and like I said, we're
weld some
gonna
stuff up.
add the accelerator pedal bracket to it. All the other stuff that she's put on there. It's amazing that people are buying it. We appreciate it. Buy our stickers, slap them on your toolbox, send us a picture of it on your toolbox or your, wherever you put it. We don't care.
Yeah.
Just put it on
Put
something.
it on your forehead.
We appreciate you. We really appreciate your support. It is going towards my eyeball repair.
Yes, exactly. It's the eyeball fund.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I think we're good.
I'm fine.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram for an announcement on the when the next episode of UTX Unplugged and commentary will be. So
that's right. And we'll get to work on a video now.
Yep. So we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.